Here we go.
Farm Companion.
Spot on, man. We've been good at these, huh? I'm trying to think. When do we start doing Farm Companions every week? A couple months ago? A few months ago?
Yeah, probably March.
Yeah. So we've been pretty good.
We're on a roll, man.
We're on a roll. Won't be long.
Just part of the daily routine.
A few more months, and then we'll be Hunt Companion in it before you know it.
Yeah.
Right now, Farm Companion. It is May 15th as we film this.
Yeah. So I guess let's dig in here because we got a time
Got a lot,
and
man.
a schedule.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's slight back up. You saw some great Switch in Ohio here recently. That was last weekend, right?
Yep. Have we covered that yet or no?
I don't think we weren't here because I was in Arizona.
Okay. So yeah, assessment on the Ohio Switch is really nice.
Really nice.
Looks really great. A good portion of it I hit with Simazine.
In like March.
Man, I hope people can keep up with the chemicals because there really is. It's hard. I know when we throw a bunch of chemicals at, because for me for a long time when Bracket or Skip or whoever would be like this.
We're gonna put these. We're building a new website. I think at some point when we kind of figure it out, because frankly we're still learning too, guys. Right? We'll put like, hey, if you're doing Roundup Ready beans, this is the cocktail you should mix.
Freaking, we'll just copy and paste from Skip's. I know Skip's got a whole chart. Yeah, but essentially,
I will wait till Skip's lie.
So So what I sprayed on that Switch in mid-April was Simazine.
Okay,
and I should have even done it earlier.
Mm-hmm. But we were late on stuff with rain or weather or something.
The reason is it's a pre-emergent. It means it keeps weeds
from popping.
From popping. The switchgrass is resistant to it, so it's the perfect chemical to keep things at bay before they start growing, while the switch just So the stuff I sprayed with that looks epic. Looks
banger.
Awesome. A week ago it was, a foot tall maybe.
Yep.
And it was awesome to be able to confirm that it was in fact switch, because last year I had orchard grass in there.
Yeah, we just didn't know.
It's hard to differentiate from some other things. And I haven't planted any of it. So this is my first. I'm like, what does it look like? So now I have a clean bed of switch. It's all about a foot tall. I'm super excited about how that looks.
Yep.
There's some other spots that I didn't spray. I just, for whatever reason, I wasn't over there. I didn't get to it. And also good switch, but there is definitely some weed competition in there.
Yep.
So
quinclorac.
Yeah, so within the next 2 weeks, probably, I'm going to go out and hit that with quinclorac.
2,4-D.
2,4-D and a crop oil.
Yep.
And so that will, the quinclorac will hit the grasses.
Yep.
And I think it does broadleaves too.
2,4-D will broadleaf.
The main thing with quinclorac is foxtail.
Yep.
Yeah, 2,4-D will hit the broadleaves, and then the crop oil is just a surfactant. And so the switch will be left to thrive. So you want to hit them while they're young like this, and, obviously you want it to be under
hit
the
them while they're
sprayer
young.
Stuff. Yeah, hit them while they're young. Yeah.
R.I.P. Diddy.
Interesting. I'm going to have to name my sprayer after something like that. Yeah. We're going to fire up P. Diddy. We're going to go hit them while they're young. Get the baby oil in the sprayer.
It's a surfactant.
It's a surfactant.
So anyways, that was good.
Yeah.
Good report out there.
Yep.
Okay. So that's done. I drilled, or I should say Matt Stewart from Southern Ohio drilled my beans in Ohio Sunday night. So that's done. My beans are done in Ohio. I need to put the fence up, but that's it. I'll do that next week. So here we are prepping for tomorrow, the 16th. We are heading to the Illinois farm.
Yeah, just full coordination mode. So, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts with weather and travel. And
we have about 2.5 days.
Timing and, about 2.5 days. So, So the plan is we're going to get there. We're going to leave tomorrow at the butt crack, as I said.
As always.
So 4 a.m. probably we'll hit the road.
Pull in the kinetic and sprayer.
Yes.
Yep.
We're going to go to, I don't know the name of their shop. Tim Sisk. If you Google it, you can probably find
Sisk Outdoors or something like that.
Sisk is the dealer out there that we're going to get our beans from. I got 9 bags of beans.
Beauty.
Which is approximately 80 pounds an acre.
Okay.
Because we're going to do 4.5 acres.
Yep. Which we're going to do our center field, for anybody who paid attention. We're going to do our center field that was in corn last year in beans. And then we're going to do what we call the pinch of pinch in beans this year as well, which was in brassicas last year.
Yep. And
that's priority kind of one. Like, we need to get our beans in the ground.
Get the beans in. Yep. And so also on the way there, we got to stop at Walter's Ag and grab our chemical.
All our chemical.
So I texted,
which is a massive cocktail list.
Julie. So I mean, big cocktail list. So we got atrazine, and frankly, we should clarify. I don't know the difference between atrazine and simazine, other than atrazine requires a license out of Illinois. So we got atrazine, we got crop oil, we got glyphosate, we got butirac to pick up, 2,4-D to pick up, and whatever she's going to recommend for pre-emergent on the beans.
Yeah, which is, I think, Real World recommends Boundary.
Okay.
So whatever that is, active ingredient.
So frankly, the only thing that has me a little concerned at this point is the wind.
Yeah, from a spraying side. So it's gonna be super windy Friday. We know that.
And Saturday.
Hope it lays down in the evenings and mornings as best as possible. So yeah, that's the thing that we're gonna have to work on the most.
Yeah.
And we've got the boom that we use on that Fimco is adjustable, so we can drop it down low to keep it tight. But I mean, if you're going through tall grasses, you don't want it to be just like plastering it.
Right.
Yeah, you want it to be up a little bit higher.
So, but I think it's one of those things we'll just kind of roll with it, hit it early and late if we can.
Fortunately, I'll be in a fully enclosed cab, so I won't be inhaling too much.
In the sprayer, huh? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so that's the plan. I mean, to run through the list really quickly, I think in this order, we're going to hit the clover first.
We've got 2 areas of clover that we're going to hit with cleth, 2,4-DB, crop oil, and then we're going to put a 3,18-18 in
That's
there.
an easy one to mix up. 2,4-DB that's butirac.
Yeah, butirac.
Not 2,4-D.
Nope.
That will kill your clover.
DB, butirac, crop oil.
Butirac 200 is what it goes.
Crop oil, and we'll probably put boost. So we'll probably have boost and 3,18-18 in there from Deer Grove.
Yeah.
That's a mean cocktail. That's what I hit that stuff in Ohio with.
Straight chemists out there, dude.
Dude, it looks that my Ohio clover is just it's fantastic.
Yeah, and we have some more seed from Jeff too, so we'll probably just put some of that down for fun.
Yep, especially in the cove.
Okay,
so that's number one.
Yep, I think immediately from there we'll go to beans. And so those haven't been touched this year. They're just they are what they are. So we're gonna hit those with Gly, 2,4-D, crop oil,
and Boundary or something.
We're not going to do 2,4-D because we're going to seed into that immediately, right?
Yep. We're going to use Boundary instead or something like that
for the
pre-emergent. Yeah, which we've never plot twist. We've never done pre-emergent on our Roundup Ready beans. We've always just Gly, plant them, come back, Gly.
I put my first down last week in Ohio.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So what the guy recommended it's called metribuzin. Metribuzin. And I talked to Skip afterwards. He's like, it's not what I would have used, but that's what they gave me. It was actually I think it was an 8 to 16 ounce bottle of like
super concentrate
material.
Oh, like dry.
It's like a dry. Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. So I mixed that into my, with my Gly and crop oil for that. So yeah, I sprayed that in Ohio a couple days ago.
Cool.
So we'll see how that goes. But so yeah, we'll drill all the beans. And then thirdly, I think we'll go to the brassicas, which we're nowhere close to planting here. We're just going to nuke them. Gly, 2,4-D.
Which I've never done 2,4-D in the past as like a pre-emergent in that, but that's normally because I spray like a week or two before I plant. We're going to be spraying months before we plant.
Yeah. So what's your question?
So you've never done 2,4-D in a brassica plot for previous control, like for pre-emergent control?
Not for pre-emergent. I mean, it's like a 10-day period.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really short. No, it's to kill broadleafs.
Yeah, we're just trying to keep that down because we also haven't had a lot of rain in Illinois, and we're going to get rain, which means there's probably going to be broadleafs that pop after we spray.
Yeah.
So we'll have that pre-emergent in there to hopefully help manage weeds. Yeah. It's just a weed management strategy.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just trying to keep it clean.
And then we moved to
which I've realized over the years is increasingly, I used to think I could just go spray in July and then drill, and you got to keep that stuff clean as weeds can get out of control. So
and then we moved to switch,
and that leaves us with the switch.
Yep.
So that's where Chris was out there today, texted us that video, and like we were really toiling over what to still are kind of.
We have a couple spots we have to plant. We've sprayed once. We will spray again and plant. Right.
Yeah.
Near the house.
Yeah. Well, the differentiation we have here is planting into foxtail or not, and not. In some areas, it's a fairly clean bed. There's not a lot of existing foxtail. Pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Gly, atrazine.
Hit it. 2,4-D. Right?
2,4-D and crop oil.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and just drill right in. The areas, we have about 8 acres that was really overrun with foxtail.
Got sprayed with Gly several weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
For cool seasons.
That's
the problem with these like summer weeds, man, is like foxtail, which is the primary, the main thing we're competing with, is like that's a June, July.
Grows when switch is growing.
Grows when switch is growing. So like if it's not there when you spray it, you're not gonna kill it.
So quinclorac would be the post emergent if it's.
So let's talk about this. Because you and I need to figure this out anyways. Because so Chris called me yesterday and was like, dude, I don't think you should plant tomorrow or Saturday, because there's no way you're going to outcompete the foxtail. Like it's not growing yet, but it's germinated in the soil. It's going to start coming up in the next week or so. Like you could go back and try to keep hitting it with quincloric and like stay ahead of it, but he's like, you're just not going to beat it.
Which posed the question, will simazine control it if it's not emerged
So
yet?
I called Skip this morning, answered my question. It will not. If it's germinated under the soil, that simazine's not going to do anything.
Okay.
It's like an abortionist. It keeps it from like the spark from happening.
Yep.
So we're in that weird in between phase where like
it's not emerged, but it's not able to be controlled by a pre-emergent.
In a perfect world, we would have burned that off, I think, in March and hit it hard with simazine. And that would have probably been a good situation. So what Skip recommended on our call earlier was, he's like, man, I would just focus on controlling the foxtail for the time being. That means just keep hitting it with Gly. Hit it this week, hit it 2-3 weeks from now, hit it July 1st, and don't worry about seeding, and consider switching up your seed mix to something that's going to go quicker same year, like an RC Big Rock, and plant that in July.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that was my plan to tell you that. I was like, maybe that's what we do. But then Chris went out and looked at it just like an hour ago. And was
but he looked at I was thinking more of the house stuff. So that what Skip is saying would apply closer to the house, which has no established switch yet.
No. He's are you talking about the Cove, at the Cove?
No. I'm talking about like the new stuff at the house.
That stuff's fine. No, we're not worried about that.
We're not worried about foxtail coming up in that?
Nah.
That's my thing.
No, there's just not going to be nearly as much foxtail seed in there as those other spots. You had a full year of like a bumper crop of foxtail dropping seeds.
Yeah, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So those are the areas you really got to worry about. Those new areas, we may have to mow them, may have to hit them with quincloric later in the year.
Okay.
But not as concerned. But so on the big field, that's the real problem child. That's where Chris went out and looked, and he just sent us that video and was
there's a bunch of switch.
He's like, hey, there's a bunch of switch coming up in here from last year.
So we don't want to Gly it.
So yeah, now we need to make a decision. Like, does it need more seed? Do we think it can compete with the foxtail? And do we just hit it with quincloric now?
It sounds like we would hit it with quincloric in July.
Or both.
Or both. Yeah, I mean, if there's something coming up, great. If there's not, then no. So I don't know.
Yeah, so that's
decisions.
That is the decision. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's a time thing. We can post that. We could push that to the end, and it's like, hey, if we have time and the weather cooperates, sure, hit it with quincloric. It's not going to hurt anything.
Looks good to me, man. It looks
clean.
Looks like not clean, but like looks like you hit that with hit that with 2,4-D and quincloric right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe put some more seed out, even broadcast, and we might be okay.
Okay.
Then we may have to hit it again like July 1st.
Yep.
But there's switch in there, so.
Which, yeah, we can just, if we're not back, well, we'll be back out the plant. Brassicas.
Or, yeah, we'll get,
yeah.
What's his name?
The guy.
We'll get the guy out there.
The guy. Yep. So that's the strategy, is like, this is a get beans in the ground, take care of clover, take care of existing switch, get ready for new switch. That's the plan.
And kill off for brassicas.
Kill off for brassicas. Yep.
Maybe go look at a new farm.
Maybe.
And we got some fence posts to pull too.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, that's just we'll get our tractor and either a chain or a
rock them a bit.
Pull it up. I think.
Yep. That should be fine.
Probably got about 20 of them to pull.
Is there barbed wire on those?
I think they're pretty loose.
Okay. I just didn't know if we need cutters to cut the wire off.
Can't hurt to bring.
Okay. So that's the strategy for going out there.
I'm so excited to be out there.
That'd be cool.
Jack.
Be good to get those all in the ground. We got rain coming. Yeah. I mean, you can't ask for much better there.
I don't care to do anything with cameras.
Nope.
While we're there, just let them run it. Whatever's running, just run it. Let's just get an inventory, make sure in our mind we know where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we come back in July, we'll follow that up.
Yeah. So, yeah, should be pretty clean for us. It's just getting it all done and more so wind cooperation, and not torching our entire forest next to us because it's drifting.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the big of it. What do you got back home still? You got to drill beans, right?
Yeah. I've been trying to coordinate with that's the problem with the county drill is like you're communicating with NRCS guys and they're,
tough.
It's tough. So yeah, I'm still waiting on the drill, but one of our neighbors has it now. So I should have that next week sometime. So I think our beans will probably go in next week.
Yeah. I think I'm going to plant Kentucky next weekend, which is Memorial Day weekend. So I think I'm going to go and just plant everything I have. Sturgis's deer fence where I need screening.
When's that go in?
Same time.
Pretty soon.
I put in the same time I put beans in.
I may take some of that too.
Yep.
I think we got plenty out here.
Yep. Yeah, we got a lot.
I've got an area to put that in.
So I'm going to do that, put beans in. I still have corn, but it's like 85-day corn, so it'll be fine. Yeah.
That's it, man.
Just get it all on the ground at this point.
Right now, you got to be juggling it all. And
we've had enough moisture here. We're getting it out there. But yeah, it's just full out. Just get it in the ground at this point. What you get in the ground now will pay off in the fall.
I'm really anxious to see in Illinois where Julie sprayed. Because you can see right there that switch is popping. So we'll be able to see, I think, what that did, how that's going to turn out.
So we had the co-op go out and spray, 30-some acres, 40 acres?
About 30 acres, I think.
Yep. So we need to see what that kind of did for control of our cool season.
I think it's going to look epic.
Yep. So we're getting there, man, piece by piece.
I think that farm could be like a 180 from last year. With the amount of like work we're putting into the switch and stuff and reestablish. I mean, it's getting there.
It's our first year back onto the corn too. So that we've completed 2 years of crop rotations. We're back to corn surrounding us. So we'll see what that looks like as well.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing beans down at the pinch of pinch to see what that seems to do with holding deer down in there in the summertime and early season. Hopefully they don't maul it all over.
Frankly, I'm expecting to have to replant that. We'll probably just broadcast brassicas into it or something. But I did want to talk to you about. So I called. What's his name? Caton, or who does the drone spraying?
Clayton. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I called Clayton and was like, "Hey, catch me up on this."
Oh yeah, HUNTR seed. Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to get ahead and try to figure out what that's going to look like and stuff. And so it sounds like they have pretty good. They've had a good experience spraying in that November timeframe with drones for bush honeysuckle.
Oh, honeysuckle, yeah.
Which is, we have some for sure. Mm-hmm. That's the stuff that stays green like into December.
Yep, but not for multiflora.
And he's never sprayed multiflora either. So I was talking to him, and I was also talking to Jed Coldwell, because Jed called me and he was like, "Wait a minute, like don't do that." Like before, he's like, I want to understand what he's doing there first. And it sounds like there may be a way. It probably wouldn't be in the fall. If anything, it would be in the spring, and you'd have to figure out what the chemical is that could do that.
Mm-hmm. So other than that, we're left with our backpacks. Mm-hmm. Which, yeah,
and you need manpower. Frankly, that it's just too big of a job for you and I. Like, I think you need to get 5-6 guys
with a backpack
and just line up and walk through it, and you can knock it out in 3-4 hours probably.
Yep, probably. So that'd be a spring thing.
That'd be anytime. Yeah, anytime like after they've greened up.
Okay. Well, yeah, multiflora is a beast for sure. But yeah, obviously, if we're gonna open up canopy, you want that controlled first.
Yeah. Well, if we can find a way to do that, man, I mean, that'll change that whole the dynamic there. Can you imagine how good that piece would be there if we can control that multiflora, burn off the leaf litter, and then cut down all of the non-desirable trees? That freaking place will be epic.
Yeah, it should be really wild. It's amazing. We've been learning just more and more about how some of these deer are using the surrounding properties. Like we had a really big buck to the north, not far, like hundreds of yards.
Yeah.
And like that must have been the southern part of his range, and he just didn't come to us. And then that one that we got in February, he stays mainly to the west of us, and we must be the furthest east that he comes.
I sent you the picture of those sheds they found.
I know, giant. Well, what did they say? 168 or something?
168 inch 8-point.
Yeah, stud
Monster.
Yeah. So I mean, like it's just those deer just use that landscape differently because it's so fragmented with the ag fields and stuff. Like their core area of woods is probably much, much smaller than it would be anywhere else, from just lack of connectivity, I assume. But that doesn't mean that they don't take those one-off trips, because we have seen them. But it is very strange to think of that. So, yeah, it'll be exciting to see, in the next 2 months, really by mid-July, like you'll start to know who some of these deer are. And it's like, do I know that deer? Do I not know that deer? Because that's how it's been the last 2 years. It's like, who's that? Who's this? Where'd this guy go?
Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll see that again this year or not. Hard to say. But hopefully the more the intense management that we have on this place, the more that some of these deer are like, nah, this is a good spot. I should stick around here.
Yeah.
But
it would be so cool if that 8-point would, realize he was there at the time to realize, like, hey, there's a standing grain field here, we know he didn't shed there, because they found the shed somewhere else. But if he came back after and we just didn't
just popped around because he's like, yeah, there's food here and the weather got tough or whatever.
Oh, that would be the coolest thing in the world if that deer was like showed up during the season, having figured out what we put there. That would be a pretty cool testament.
So yeah, that's it. It's like, people ask, I think, a lot. They're like, well, what do I do? And it's like, we're at the point where we're just continually fine-tuning things. So if we're talking about like doing the switch and stuff, those are major projects like that, spraying 30 acres to kill out cool season grasses. That's a landscape level change on the property versus, where we're putting some of the smaller switch for screening, or where we're putting some of these brassica plots or rotating clover in or whatever. Like that's all fine tuning at that point. So, it takes 3 to 5 years really to get a farm to the point where you're like micro tuning it. We're not there yet. We're still talking about the multiflora. That's a monster undertaking there, and that will change the complete dynamic of that woodlot. So yeah, 3 to 5 years before you get to the point where you've done most of the major stuff to improve that. And now you're either reaping the rewards and micromanaging it, or you're still trying to figure it out. So yeah, it's hard to get to that point, and but it's fun as well. Like those are the things that you make a change and you're like, cool, that paid off.
Dude, it's the most fun thing you can do, in my opinion. Like I think that's what deer hunting this time of year is to me. It's like, a property is a blank canvas, and you can, through blood, sweat, and tears, you can design, you can structure it in a way, by things that you plant and elements that you introduce and stuff. Like you can build an environment that like not only the herd benefits from and can grow old because of, but that you can hunt effectively. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the plan, and we're getting there. We've got a good strategy here for the next few days to knock some stuff out. And
I'll tell you what else I'm feeling really good about is Kansas.
We are feeling good about Kansas. Haven't drawn yet. Next week
we'll draw.
Next week we'll draw.
Yeah, we got a point. So
yep.
Pretty good odds, but I just I talk more with Roger and just more plans and stuff, and I'm like, dude,
feeling pretty good.
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah. When do we draw for Nodak potentially?
Today, as we're sitting here, is the end of the application period.
Oh wow!
So
soon.
Yeah, sometime in the next, I don't know, couple weeks maybe. Did you pay off our credit card?
I did.
Cool. Just make sure we're clear for that.
It's clean. Yeah, so shit's about to get real as the draws start to happen, as the places start to come into play.
North Dakota is the one that's got me. Like, I'm not super optimistic, frankly.
No, it's just super. I mean, there's 300 tags and who knows how many applicants. We have a lot of points.
Well, and I think they keep reducing the tags.
Yeah.
You know, like they're at a 10-year low as far as how many tags they're issuing.
Which they should. I mean, that's good for them. Like, that's protecting the resource and stuff. Not good for us, but good for them.
I think Cody's going to come with us regardless. I mean, if we decide we're going to still go for, I assume if we draw, I assume he still won't, but he'll come and hunt whitetails, which would be fun.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, no, it'll be a blast. So, yeah. So we're, farms, tags, like it's at that time of year, man, where we just got to put the head down. You got to get stuff in the ground. You got to work to make money so you can go on these hunts in the fall. Like a lot of moving pieces right now for sure. And hopefully people are getting the right weather and not too much rain and enough rain. And yeah, just constant craziness, it seems like.
Yeah. Trying to think what else at the home farmer and stuff. It's just, I mean, that's what it is. We just get a lot of stuff that needs to get in the ground. It needs to go right. And by the time that's all kind of wrapped up or wrapping up, it'll be time to get cameras out. It'll be like early July.
Yeah.
That's about when I want to, you know what I mean?
I've been excited just seeing velvet coming through and a couple deer. I'm like, is that out there? I don't know. Like that one looks good. So
yeah,
try not to get too wrapped up in it, but it's good to see, more than just like bumps, like significant velvet growth coming.
Are they outside the ears yet?
I've got a couple.
Getting there?
Yeah. Got a couple with brows and like starting to pop bases of twos.
I think you're going to kill a big deer in Ohio this year. I just have a feeling.
It's looking good, man. I'm surprised. I'm surprised with how good that clover is looking at the top. I mean, that's been a labor of love. In fact, I'll probably go back and spray it again sometime in June or July, depending on weather. But I got those beans in with Matt. Matt's going to go in. I'm going to flag like 6 water holes. So he's going to go in there with the track hoe and dig those water holes out. So, yeah, I mean.
Are you going to bentonite those like out of the gate? Or
Yep.
My suggestion on that is do that right away.
It is. Yeah, he's going to dig them out, and then I'm going to come in with a bunch of bentonite and mix it in right away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because what we did, I let it set, and we were like had some failures first, and then it got real tacky. And it's sticking to your tires, and it's not great.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to go in and bentonite all of them right away, and so we'll get that done. And yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of who's there. Knock, knock.
And you have some good potentials from last year, right?
Yeah, I have a bunch of really good 4-year-olds for sure.
You're not shooting 4-year-olds in Ohio?
I don't know.
I know. That's
I don't know. Like I don't know. There should be 2 that I know that made it through that it should be all over 50s as a 4-year-old. There's one that if he made it through could be like high 50s as a 4-year-old. And then there should be a couple. There's one really, really big deer that was in the 60s as a 5-year-old last year that I didn't get shot. But he hangs at I'm like the furthest south he comes. So I have to pull him in a little bit more. In fact, I've got a mineral lick. I've got a trophy rock set up on that corner where he's at, which is a regular trail camera. So I'll check that at some point, but he usually hits that mineral lick.
Just to go back here a little bit, speaking of, we're talking about timber management earlier with invasives and stuff. I at some point decided I needed to do something about it. I texted Jed 2 days ago. That's how the drone conversation came up, and was like, hey dude, would it be worth applying for like some equip funding for invasive management and stuff like that? And he said that it would.
Okay.
He's like, your timber could really benefit from it. And he said that so the next step there is he would come out in the summer and write a plan for us, basically, that we would submit this fall for as the application period to get approved for funding.
Yep. Yeah, in fact, we had a guy that reached out to me who is in eastern Kentucky. I'm just outside of his zone, but he gave me the other guy to do for the same thing.
Okay. A timber guy.
Yeah. Yep, for equip funding and whatnot. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at looking at now. Like my Ohio farm is getting thick real fast, but I'm sure there's some multiflora and stuff. Eric Long is going to come out. We're going to do like a cool burning project next year out there. Which will be neat, but yeah, I mean, you
got switch growing?
I do in Kentucky.
That was just Kentucky, none in Ohio.
I mean, I might. There are areas that I put it in.
They don't have so much fun with the switch.
there are areas that I put it in. In fact, now that I go back, like some of the areas I put it in, like I mean, it would insulate the woods, but like I don't go through there anyways. Like it's not a big thing. But the Kentucky stuff, if that is doing what I hope it's doing, like I'll really start working on managing that. I'll hit it with quincloric here this summer.
Yeah.
Like that was looking really good early in the year, like early April.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's definitely a big help on some of those areas from an insulation side, as well as, I don't know about screening. We'll see, depending on how high it grows. But yeah, I mean, it's just getting beans and corn in the ground, and especially now making sure those clovers are released of grasses and broadleaves. You want them to be able to take, I mean, that right now, that is the source of supplemental protein for your deer herd, is any kind of alfalfa, clover, chicory, those plots.
That's the easiest thing to do, too. Just maintain them.
Just maintain them, let them do their thing, and then the annuals will come up, and yeah, you'll be good.
Dude, big picture, mainly back home, but also, we're talking about it in Illinois. I think that the timber management is, I just think it's the cornerstone. I think it's the most important thing. We talk so much about how to create habitat out of open pastures, and I do need to do that. I need to figure out.
Yeah, because you can't cut anything there and just make it grow.
That's right. I just think that your timber management is the most important thing you could do for whitetails.
Mm-hmm. No, I would agree. I think not just from a cover standpoint, but the reality, sets in every time that it's like, 50 to 60% of a deer's diet is browse. And if you have good quality timber management, you have browse.
I know I'm jumping all over the place here. We didn't talk about, remember I didn't tell you, I told you, but we didn't talk about it. I caught like freaking, I pulled like 40 crappie out of the lake that day.
That's awesome. Any size to them?
Oh yeah.
Really?
All of them were big.
Wow.
Monsters. See, almost seemed like they have kind of taken over.
Has me second guessing that lake farm for investing with you.
I know.
That's my kryptonite on the fish side.
I'm talking every cast.
Yeah. They will take over a lake for sure.
And you had to find them. Like I found some structure alongside here, and I mean,
they're just spawned up on them.
Pulling them out. A couple smallmouth too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pulled out a couple 12, 13 inchers.
Wow.
Maybe one bass for every 10 crappie.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's it. We didn't catch any bluegill, no sunfish or anything like that.
That's all right. I hate bluegill.
Yeah. I was ripping them out. I had a little, like a bead head.
That's all you need, man.
A hook and a worm.
That's all you need. They're in that spawn mode, man. You put it right in front of them and they'll just suck it in and just.
It was fun. It's channeling my inner Jeremy.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, you probably should start cooking because they'll take over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's good to have good populations. If they're good size, that's good. But like at some point they'll stunt.
You and I could go down there, and if we spent a full day, we could pull out 60 or 80, I bet.
Oof, that's good eating. It's good.
I think between Dad and I, in like 4 hours, I think we caught probably 50 or 50.
Oh, nothing better than that, man. Yeah, that's good eating. That sucks cutting them all up, but
I did the rope swing too. Did you see that?
I did see that. You almost lost your nuts dragging
twice. There. Yeah.
I thought if there was a root that was sticking up, you would have got clipped.
Yeah.
That was like, it was low hanging right there.
I'd be full velvet the next year.
You about skid marked the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad and I hung that rope swing. I don't know, 20 years ago.
That's funny.
Probably.
Well, there'll be a time and a place for you to talk about the farm situation overall.
Yeah.
So we're not there yet, but at some point, just what that's going to look like. But I think, did you check any of the trees? They look like they're doing okay. You're planting pine trees and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I assume you can't tell like anything's dying or anything yet, right?
No, I think they look okay. I had sprayed the day before or that morning, and it poured in between then and planting. So like the kill off of grass is like
moderate.
There, it's dying, but it's not, so any little bit I guess helps. So
sure.
Yeah, they look fine.
Cool.
They look fine.
Yeah, I don't know. There were a couple comments of like, why would you plant those? What's it for? And it's like, what do you do when you just have open pasture? Like you have to create structure.
Mm-hmm.
You have a choice.
I will say, because some guys commented at some point there about dragging trees out into fields and stuff. I just took note of, I have seen some down trees like in cool season grass fields and stuff, and right around the tree, it's like a complete, you've seen it too, probably.
Because the birds are shitting
everywhere. Because the birds are dropping it there. Yeah. And I never realized that was why.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to do that after I burned in some areas. to like drag them out and just has extra structure there.
Yeah, I think the most effective you could be without, dragging trees is a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
tractor.
The best you can probably do is just feather your edges really hard, which we haven't really done a whole lot of is, manage for invasives first and then drop them out in there and let them go.
Burning's the thing that then throws the kink in that for just having clear buffers for your burns.
Well, you just got to move your buffers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, you think about it. I don't know what the number is, but like if the trees are 30 to 50 foot on average, is that a tree?
Yep.
On like a 10-acre section,
mm-hmm.
if you fell the perimeter out 30 to 50 feet all the way around it, like you're probably gaining 3 to 5 acres of space.
Yeah.
Of decent habitat there.
Yep. And everything growing up around it and stuff now that you got sunlight coming in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's definitely, when you're talking about more open ground, anything you can do to create structure is critical.
Yeah.
It's, use what you have, basically. Anything's better than just a cool season field.
No doubt.
So, well, guess that'll do it. We're heading to Illinois tomorrow. You guys will probably see some stories and stuff here over the weekend when we're out there, and we will catch you all next week.
Farm Companion.
Take me